Paul to tell us when we're live, please.
We're now live, Chair.
Okay. Thanks to one and all for this special meeting tonight. We're discussing the house and revenue account, the fire risk assessments. There's item number 1. I don't really have any announcements as such. 2 apologies. Do we have any apologies? No. Declarations of interest, party whip? No. Have we got any members of the public who wish to speak?
No, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 then, house and revenue account, where I understand that Councillor Wilkins, with the assistance of an officer. Chris, do you want to put the report or will the officer do it? Chris, are you or Tom presenting the report? You're still muted. I thought. Councillor Watkins.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, we've got you now. We haven't got you. We've got you on screen, Chris, but we haven't got your mic on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we've got you now.
Okay, right. Thanks, Chair. It'll be me in putting the report forward, Chair. I know everything there is to know about this report. The report is as is read. So I hope that all members that are present have had time to read it, and I'll be answering questions that any member has got. Tonight I'll be answering any of the questions, Chair. But it is as is wrote in the report. So the report is for noting. But I'm here to take any questions that anybody's got. Over to you now, Chair, please.
Okay, it was there's the panel asked for this to be brought forward as a special item, so consequently brought it forward as quickly as I could have. So anybody wish to speak on the report? There's Councillor Watkins, a portfolio holder, and an officer is waiting to answer any questions or queries that people may have. So anybody wish to speak? Could you put your hands up, please? Councillor Condacor.
Thank you very much, Chair. I've actually been contacted by 2 members of the public, and I'm surprised the officers don't have a statement from one of them. Also, a second one has contacted me by email, and I've forwarded the statement to members of the panel about 20 minutes ago, which was about what happened on the 20th of October when the fire alarms went off at Priory Court on about 9:30 in the morning. And I think we've got an issue with fire alarms going off when the night waiting watch isn't there. Apparently there's total chaos. Some people evacuated, some people didn't recognise the alarm as an alarm. And we do seem to have this, whilst we've got an evacuate procedure, a hole in the system in terms of when there's not a member of staff on site, do people know to evacuate, who's doing the roll call, what goes on. I've also been told the fire brigade do not attend when the alarms go off. They actually are waiting now for a confirmation there is actually a fire, which, considering there's no staff on site, seems to be horrendously weak. I will let people read the statement from one member of the public at your leisure later. But I do want to ask Councillor Watkins, firstly, what happened in the daytime? Because I understand there's actually all-night cover from these security firms and at weekends, but it's actually our staff, our independent living service staff, who are monitoring the place at daytime, and they've got like 2 different complexes between them, so they can only be at one of the 2 complexes at any one time. In terms of the report itself, it is totally lacking detailed timescales. I was told, for example, the chimes had been completed, and the report said it's still on the to-do list. And it looks like absolutely nothing has been done so far on this list, even though the fire reports, which are absolutely damning, were actually December and January, December last year and January this year, some of which had substantial risks. Alwyn Freeman Court, for example, the walls between the flats does not extend through the roof space. So all those flats are effectively, as far as the fire is concerned, totally connected. There is no fire barrier between them, which is why the fire risk assessment was for substantial risk. And it really is disappointing we haven't got a clear list of which independent living complexes have a substantial risk, and when those substantial risks are going to be reduced to moderate, etc. I say we've got this massive list on page 10 of all the sites that will be finished by December, which effectively means nothing has been done this year. And members are really in the dark unless they ask what's going on. We should have a waiting watch on all these sites unless we've got all the problems or major problems sorted. And we have to ask what the situation is. It would be really nice, and I think it should be a recommendation of this committee, that the members for each area are emailed to tell them whether their independent living site is on waiting watch, stay put, to be evacuated by the fire warden, or whether it's evacuate or whether it's stay put. So I think that clarity needs to be there for elected members for their own independent living things. And I think we need a far clearer plan as to when we're going to turn these things from red to green to amber. Was that a buzzer, Chair?
No, I never heard nothing.
Oh, some beeping in the background. It was.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, I'll wind up at there. But I say there's a lot of issues around this, and we do need a recommendation to sort something out, and also this to come back to committee in spring so we can see what's been done. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Before you answer, Councillor Watkins, are they getting a feedback on? Because I'm getting a feedback or something somewhere. I couldn't hear the buzzer went off. Anybody else having problems? Dee, you going to say something?
Getting an echo.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Can somebody have a look into that? Councillor Watkins, do you wish to answer the councillor?
Oh, I do, Chair. So, reading everyone again, I'll give you the full facts of what happened at Priory Court on the 20th, because when our staff are accused of not knowing what they're doing, or that it's utter chaos, complete mess, and then I obviously look into it. So I'll give you a full detailed report of what happened. It wasn't 9:30, it was 10 o'clock the alarm went off. Our independent living officer in 10. The tenants, with 2 exceptions, had all evacuated the building and had gathered at the assembly point. The 2 tenants that were in the foyer were asked why they had not evacuated the building. They said the decorator that had set off the alarm had told them they could go back in and it was cold outside. So they did. This has been addressed, and the tenants advised they should not re-enter the building until advised to by the NBBC representative or the fire brigade. So once again, Chair, total misinformation from the councillor. They are the true facts of what happened. At 10 past, after the alarm had gone off at 10 past, our officer was on site, and the tenants are more than happy with the independent living officer that looks after Priory Court. So they are the facts, Chair. The facts are also that there's lots of, as you see in the report, if the councillor has read the report, we didn't actually get the fire risk assessments done until late November, early December 19. We're only in December 20. Most cases have been done. What the council probably doesn't know is what he's talking about is compartmentation work, which is it's quite common in older buildings, but all of that work is being done and it's quite expensive. So we're working through it. There are a few that are getting handed back over, and they'll be stay put this month, which will leave only 3 at the end of this month to be completed next year. Like I have repeatedly said, time and time again, the works will be done by the end of this financial year. We will not remove any waking watch and put our residents at risk until the works are done. Chair, we have gone above and beyond doing work on these sites. The councillor will not be notified of when we go to a stay put on other sites. All he needs to know about are the ones in his ward, and that is already in place, where councillors get emailed and advised that we are going from a full evacuation to a stay put, stay safe. See, the compartmentation work gets done so that you can stay in your unit, in your independent living unit, and you can wait professionals. Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service. Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service are more than happy with what we are doing. We've not only done what Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service have asked us, we've not only done what is in the fire risk assessment done by professionals, but we've also gone above and beyond and working ahead of the government white papers. We are a legal authority in what we are doing, Chair, and as an elected member and representative of this borough, I am proud we are leading the way with fire risk assessments and looking after our residents. It's just a shame that some of the other councillors are not as proud as I am. I don't know what else to say, Chair. That everything that can be done is being done. We have worked through a global pandemic, 2 lockdowns, a national shortage of building materials, and we're still getting criticised for making our tenants safe. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. What the council probably doesn't also realise is every time he criticises somebody, and then they get investigated. So every time he calls one of our officers, they get investigated. It's not nice when they're working through global pandemics. Chair, I'm not going to say any more on what I've just done, because I'm really disappointed. I'm just absolutely shocked on what I've just heard. I've just told you the facts, Chair. They are the facts. By the end of this month, we will have 3 left to do, which will be done by the end of the financial year. and Warwickshire Fire Rescue Service, the professionals, are happy. I'll hand it back to you now, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the report. Would anybody else in the panel wish to come in at this point? Councillor Evans?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And Councillor Watkins, thank you very much for coming in front of the committee this evening. I wished more portfolio holders would do the same as you. I just want to ask briefly, you obviously mentioned that the Fire and Rescue Service are content with what we're doing. Do we get some sort of formal certificate from the Fire and Rescue Service or something in writing just to confirm that they are happy with what we're doing? And if so, could I please see a copy of that, if possible?
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Evans. What we do is we notify Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service so that we're going from a full evacuation back to a stay put policy. I'm not aware that we get a certificate, but if we do, I can forward that on to you, no problem at all. Yeah, we're fully on it. Before the lockdown, there was myself, the director, and a few other officers went to Leamington to meet with Warwickshire Fire Rescue Service and have a meeting on what we had found in the fire risk assessments and what we intended to do. And it was from that meeting where they've said they're more than happy with our timescales and everything. Chair, any more questions?
Okay. Councillor Andy Sargent.
Hello, thanks, Chair. I was just watching the telly this morning about some private buildings in London. There were the residents there complaining that the work needs doing, and obviously being private, they've had to sort of pay for it themselves. What they're really saying is it's costing £5,000 or £6,000 per resident, and realistically, I do manage a couple of flats myself. We did get them checked to see after Grenfell, obviously because of the material that's been used, and thankfully we were okay here. But as long as the work's moving along, which it seems to be doing from the report, then I'm quite happy with the warden's been there and what's being done. And I'm thankful really that the council have taken it on themselves really to do this work, because some councils, and it said this on the report this morning, aren't doing it. So it's all about keeping people safe. Thanks, Chair.
Anything to add, Councillor Watkins?
No, thank you for that. It has just reminded me that I want to say something about the cladding. Actually, is we was lucky that we never took up any offers of cladding, so there's none of our buildings got cladding on, so we don't have to do any of that. What people probably don't know is I have done it myself, actually, quite a lot of fire training. I can do the breathing apparatus, I can come in and get you out of the burning building, and I have done all of my fire training, which is why it's so important to me, Chair, that this gets done properly, and it will be done properly, and our residents will be safe. Thank you, Chair.
Any other members of the panel wishing to contribute before I bring Councillor Condicor back in? Nope. Councillor Condicor.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thanks for the details. One thing you didn't come back on was what happens when there's no staff on site. Are we actually staffing the sites up so they're fully staffed all day in the daytime, or was there a problem before 10 o'clock when the staff arrived at Priory Court? Because obviously we have one member of independent living per two sites at the moment, so you weren't clear and it wasn't answered what happens when the site is unattended. Thank you, Chair.
Yep. Councillor Watkins.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I do believe that's actually in the report. The officer will attend in the daytime, and the instructions that is only until we go back to stay put, stay safe. When we go back to stay put, stay safe, they will stay in until the fire brigade turn up. The fire brigade should turn up within 7 minutes, and usually do long before that. But it is our officers, and it does say, I'm sure it says in the report because I've read it, that our officers are actually trained on some of the fire procedures. So it's there. It's all there, Chair. If anybody can think of anything that is not in the report, then please ask.
Okay, thanks. Councillor Tandy, you got your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Quite simply, could I propose that the report be noted, please?
Does that find a seconder?
Seconded, Chair.
That the report be noted. If we're obviously we're going to vote on it, but can at the same time, can I thank the councillor for turning up, portfolio holder. You're everything's in your hands, Chris, and it would seem to me as though there's somewhat criticism is rather unfair, and I wouldn't like to think that we were going to frighten our tenants or residents into thinking that we are not doing something correctly, particularly with the Grenville example in everybody's mind, and hopefully that would never ever happen again. So I would like to thank everybody who's been involved, including yourself, Chris, to show that we are working on it. We're improving it step by step. I know it's been in front of the cabinet, and whatever monies are required in order to do that have been submitted. So saying that, thanks Chris, thanks the officer turning up. And do we have a vote to say we note the report with some satisfaction, shall I say? Everybody in favour of that?
No, Chair. Can I record my vote against?
Okay. Anybody else wish to vote against or abstain or whatever? If that's the case, then I shall I'll accept it that that's passed, and thank you, councillor, for turning up today.
Thank you, Chair. Could just say Merry Christmas to Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you for inviting me along today. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Cheers, and all the best to you as well. There's at this point we've got to ask to switch off the live stream. Can we switch off the live stream, and then we have to leave where you are just now, and then come back in for the next meeting, as I understand it. Is that right, Victoria?